What up guys, Deep 3 here, back at it again with another Deep 3 reviews. Today we're doing a Pokemon Unite game update video. I was in the middle of making a tier list for the past week, and this dropped and this changed everything. So we're going to go through this patch update, see what the changes are, and how it's going to affect the game. So this is going to be Pokemon Unite Game Update 8-4. We're going to go with the date because there is no version number on there. This is going to drop on 8-4 at 12 a.m. PDT. First things up, update details, bug fixes, text fixes, and they're releasing a spectate feature. So that's going to be cool. See how that's going to go. It's lasting 2 days, and then it's going to be removed. There's obviously a setup for competitive play or anyone that's hosting tournaments. So very good, very nice. Extremely happy for them to have that feature. And hey, look, hoping there are no bugs or glitches in it, and we can get it right from the start. Changes are being made to some Pokemon stats and moves to adjust the balance of Unite battles. Excellent. So we're going to start off with the buffs to the weak characters. Charizard right here, he needed the love. And cooldown reduction to flamethrower. Effects on opposing Pokemon strengthened. That's going to mean damage to the enemy opponent or enemy Pokemon. Flamethrower, Fire Blast, getting the same treatment. Fire Punch, also same treatment, but no cooldown changes there. Keep in mind, this is not going to increase your damage to neutral minions. So we're talking the Lillipups, the Bouffalants, or the Vespiquen, and the Combees in the jungle or whatever. So, like this buff, like this change a lot. Charizard is rarely played in higher ranked games, and I'm sitting around Ultra 4 and 5 right now. So, buffs to Charizard, thumbs up. Hopefully we see more of him. He's a fan favorite. He definitely needed it. And the next person that also needed it was Talonflame. Far and a few, if you saw this character in your game, you considered it a 4v5. So he's getting a buff in every way across damage. Acrobatics, Aerial Ace Plus, and Fly are all getting a buff. Brave Bird is not, so keep that in mind. Just damage to opposing Pokemon. Talonflame is in an interesting state of the game right now because it's one of the squishiest characters in the game, and it doesn't do higher damage than something like a Gengar or a Zeraora in terms of burst. So this is a buff that's definitely needed. If you're going to be a glass cannon, you got to be able to provide the damage or be extremely mobile. And Talonflame, while he may be mobile, he doesn't have the damage to back it up. So he's not threatening in any way whatsoever. And it's extremely punishing as a Talonflame player if you miss your abilities. If you tried it, you'll understand what I'm talking about. But his abilities are actually not that easy to land, including the ultimate. So we'll see if this changes the needle. Will he become viable as a jungle or a laner? We don't know quite yet. But hopefully he becomes at least played somewhat. I don't know. His ability, his kit's kind of clunky. And I don't think there are too many fan favorites of Talonflame, to be honest. So there's that. Venusaur. This is the character that I mained to get up to class 4 with. We're getting buffs on Sludge Bomb, increasing damage dealt. That's good. Before he was only doing like 40 damage a second. No one's going to stand in there for, you know, prolonged amounts of time. So he definitely needed this buff. I hope they buffed it by a lot, to be honest, because everyone in the mid and late games doing like 500, 600 damage per ability. Sludge Bomb's only doing 50 damage a second or 40 damage. That's like nothing, okay? Effects on opposing Pokemon strengthened. We don't know what that means exactly. I hope that means they're buffing the slow, because people could easily walk out of the ability. And, you know, if you're only getting 2 ticks of poison, that's not doing anything. So, there's that. Pedal Dance. Move upgrade. What the heck does that even mean? Like, come on, Pokemon Unite. Like, you can't elaborate on that a little bit? So Pedal Dance is that ability where you have the AoE movement speed bonus at the base level. The circle is quite small around you at Pedal Dance Plus. It gets a lot bigger, but that's about it. Don't know what that's gonna do. Don't know how that's gonna help the frontline build of Pedal Dance Giga Drain, but we'll find out later, and we'll give you guys my opinion on that at another time. Solar Beam, cooldown reduced. That's good. I like that. Solar Beam is definitely much better than Pedal Dance in every single way. So if you ever go Pedal Dance, there's no real reason. So hopefully, if they're buffing Solar Beam, I'm pretty sure people are still gonna play Solar Beam over Pedal Dance. There's just so many reasons to choose Solar Beam over Pedal Dance. So we'll see what happens there. That's a kind of an interesting change to make right now. Unite move, Verdant Anger. This ultimate is dog. It needed the buff desperately. Basically, it was only useful when you hit 9 with everyone else at the beginning of the game, and after about 5 minutes left in the game, move is just dog useless. So I'm happy across the board for the Venusaur buffs. He needs them, but I don't think this is going to be enough to help him. It depends how much Sludge Bomb is going to slow now. And, man, that Pedal Dance, move upgrade, that's infuriating. Change it. Explain, elaborate. We already have to, deal with stuff in game not knowing the numbers. So, come on, what's the deal there? Alright. Absol. Basic attack bug fixes. That's gonna happen with a few other melee characters. Night Slash, dealt to opposing Pokemon increased. Sucker Punch, damage increased. Alright, he needs them. Honestly, he's good early game. That's what he's intended for, early mid game, and then he falls off down in the late game. I don't think he's strong enough in the early game. You'll see him randomly crit you for 1,000 here and there and get kills, but just keep in mind that he is a character that relies on chance, and also his abilities are pretty high skill cap if you look at them or try to play it with the Feint, and the Night Slash has a double activation on there. You kind of have to maneuver your character very, very well to be very good at it, and it is not easy. So I like the love for Absol because he's definitely not the first option that people go for when they are deciding to play an assassin or an early burst game character. If you ever choose Absol over Lucario right now, it doesn't make sense at all. You always choose Lucario. Power Up Punch is one button. Absol has to press 3 to get the same effectiveness out. Makes sense. Wigglytuff is getting a defense, special defense, and HP boost. I like it. Double Slap, I like that buff as well. Increased damage and effects on opposing Pokemon strengthened. Definitely needed. That's his primary move, primary build. 100% agree with that buff. Sing, effects on opposing Pokemon strengthened. So, what that means is, if you don't know how it works, you have to stand inside the circle for about 2 seconds to get every single charge up before they'll even fall asleep. So, why not reward you for being able to do that sitting in the front line? More often than not, Wigglytuff would die too fast, and it would be very hard to execute that Sing ability without having to eject in forward for a quick engage. So, I agree with this change. The defense and health and special defense buffs are going to bring it in line to be comparable to Slowbro and Snorlax, I hope. And hopefully these changes are good for Wigglytuff, because I enjoy watching the champion and I enjoy playing the champion. Eldegoss is getting fat nerfs, to say the least, but I think they're doing it in the right way, and here's why. So Cotton Guard cooldown is lengthened, health restoration is decreased. I personally don't know if he needed both. That's kind of heavy of nerf, to be honest. It depends by how much they're going to reduce the health restoration, but we'll see how that goes. Cotton Spore, cooldown reduced, effects on opposing Pokemon strengthened, and this moves special defense, and defense has been strengthened, so I like that. Move the power from healing to more damage, so that way it just doesn't fade out Eldegoss completely. And then the Pokemon Unite move, Cotton Cloud Crash, health restoration decrease. Definitely needed that nerf. Competitive play or high rank play, this is a very big problem character because everyone's grouped together. You're granting a massive shield across your team, and Eldegoss becomes invulnerable while it's floating around in the air. So it made it very frustrating not only to target the support, but also not being able to kill anyone else on their team because the shield's just so insane. So very welcome nerfs. I like that they move the power around. I don't think it's going to be unplayed, but it's not going to be a auto lock. And I do think that Eldegoss has a spot in the game, but as of right now, there's no other real support healers in the game. So, you can't take Eldegoss out of the game completely, and until another healer comes across, like a Chansey character or something like that, you can't really neuter Eldegoss completely. Next up on the chopping block, we have Cinderace. Attack damage decreased. Blaze Kick. Damage dealt to opposing Pokemon decreased. Faint move downgrade. We don't know what that means. That's the invulnerability dodge ability. So I like that one a lot, but who knows what they're doing to it. Pyro Ball. Damage dealt to opposing Pokemon increased. I like that one a lot. No one plays it. Blaze Kick was definitely better just in every situation, and I think Pyro Ball was too easy to dodge. The damage wasn't even high enough. So, like, yeah, you should be rewarded for being able to land a shorter ranged ability by giving him more damage. I agree. And it's a skill shot. Why should Pyro Ball do less damage than a Gengar that's in your face and just blinks 3 times and you're dead? It doesn't make sense. With these changes, I think Cinderace will still be viable. It has a pretty high skill cap, so in order to be a good Cinderace, you still have to maneuver properly and orb walk properly. So I don't think it's going to be a useless champion now. I think it's going to be still pretty well up there, up in A tier or something. The common trend you're going to see with the changes from here on out are that these are all characters that can solo Rotom, Dreadnought, and Zapdos by themselves. So that's why you're going to be seeing these nerfs. So that's why Cinderace is getting this type of treatment. Gengar is one of those guys, and he definitely can solo Zapdos by himself and solo teams by himself. If you don't know by now, he's easily 1v3s just entire squads with just Hex. So it's be getting a move downgrade. I think it's going to affect the amount of resets that you get on it. That would be huge. Basic attack bug fix. Shadow Ball. Damage dealt to opposing Pokemon decreased. No one played Shadow Ball, and that's also another common trend to these changes. Builds that are not being touched are going to get buffed. Abilities that are way overtuned are going to get nudged down and slapped down for a bit, so that's good. Dream Eater getting a move upgrade, so we'll see what that does. Hopefully we see different Gengar builds. That's going to be fun. I like that. Zeraora, the third of the 3 amigos, Cinderace, Gengar, Zeraora. The 3 demons that can kill everything on the board by themselves. Spark is getting bug fixes. Wild Charge. Now, damage dealt to opposing Pokemon increased, cooldown reduced. Definitely needed this because Discharge was far and away much better than Wild Charge in every way. Why not AoE kill a team 1v3 by yourself with Discharge and Plasma Gale instead of just killing one person at a time with Wild Charge? It made no sense. So hopefully with this change, there's going to be more build variety, build diversity, and I can see that happening if they give him enough damage on Wild Charge. Now for his Pokemon Unite move, damage dealt to opposing Pokemon decreased. Completely agree that this needed a nerf. It did like 1200, 1300 damage, something like that. With Discharge, you would almost instant kill them, and there would be no outplay ability at all. Then you finish them off with the Volt Switch. You didn't even really need Volt Switch to kill them because you use it to gap close. You kill them with Discharge, your Unite move, and a couple auto attacks, and it was just dirty. So hopefully, instead of killing 3 people, he can only kill 1 at a time with this change. I think it's good overall because the ultimate is also a huge circle that slows anyone that walks through it. So Plasma Gale definitely deserved a nerf. Cramorant, the second 80 carry basically next to Cinderace. Damage dealt to opposing Pokemon decreased on Whirlpool. This was very obnoxious in the early game and mid game, very overtuned, so that nerf is very much needed. Dive, damage dealt to opposing Pokemon increased. That is the ability that isn't used that often, so I agree that, hey, maybe it needs a buff. People don't want to take the risk using that ability, then they needs to be changed. Cramorant's one of those characters right now that is very strong. It can 1v5 people, but as people have learned how to play it, they've realized that, oh, he's got this big circle that surrounds Zapdos and keeps people out. But if we just stay out of it during that cast time duration, maybe we'll be okay. I would like to see another Cramorant nerf, but I don't think there's enough of a sample size to show how broken he is right now, because the players that are good at Cramorant are much better than everyone else, and then the bad Cramorants look completely awful. So this is going to be a little bit of an interesting champion, seeing how it's going to increase and decrease in power over time. Machamp, not much is changing here, honestly. Cross Chop is getting less damage to opposing Pokemon, but Close Combat's getting a damage increase. Honestly, both abilities look the same to me, just a different animation. He's still going to do lots of damage. He's still going to have the same weaknesses in the early game where he's going to be weak at Machop, but once he hits Machoke with submission, he's going to be chasing you down and being unstoppable. Still going to be obnoxious in that way. So I don't think this is going to affect Machamp too much. Bug fixes for Lucario, Power Up Punch, and Bone Rush. Not going to change much. He's still going to have one of the best early games with Power Punch, and probably one of the weakest late games. And that's fine. That's how the game should go. Variety and diversity in power. Greninja's getting basic attack bug fixes. I can tell they're not touching this at all because it is week 2 of Pokemon Unite. And if you started on day 1, this is around the time that we're all going to be having access to Greninja for free. And we're going to be playing it a lot. I've seen a lot of good ones that already bought the character, and they're quite insane. Ultimate's a little bit overwhelming, is from what I've been seeing, but right now I think the skill cap is kind of high for the character, so we'll see what happens there. I think he's a very interesting character, and it's going to be very fun to seeing what kind of builds come up at the very top, honestly, and which ones are going to get nerfed down, because he is pretty strong. At the same time, with him being strong, I think his skill cap is very high. So in order to be good, you're going to have to be a very good player. Alolan Ninetales, Snow Warning, bug fixes. I don't know what that's going to be all about, but I do know that Alolan Ninetales is a very strong character in the game right now. Definitely very well balanced, honestly. Damage is in a good spot. How squishy it is in comparison to other characters is pretty good. It's a little bit tankier than Gardevoir, but squishier than Venusaur. I think that's a good spot for it. And that would be it for the Pokemon Game Unite Update 8-4. Do you guys agree with the changes? Do you like the changes? Do you dislike the changes? Let me know down in the comments below. If you want to see me do a game update video for each patch, like the video, let me know down in the comments below, and hit that subscribe button. I honestly do not mind doing an overview for these because I love playing the game and I play a ton of it. So there's that. Personally, in my opinion, these first patch notes are pretty successful. Things are being changed in the right way. Powers aren't being nerfed completely, but instead on some characters they're being realigned and readjusted towards other abilities, and that's good. It's going to give us more build variety and build diversity when people are playing games. They're actually going to hit a crossroads in their character builds and what they need to adapt to. And that's the whole point of being able to level whatever ability you want in the middle of a game. You want to have that diversity. You want to have a player come to that difficult decision of choice. Do I need more CC or do I need more damage? This is something that's going to be positive for the game and for competitive play once we get there. Game is still in its very early stages, and it's going to be really fun to see how it all pans out. Hopefully I can get that good too. See you guys all in the next video. Peace out. Boom. I'm gonna go play some Pokemon Unite now. Peace.